but we'll work with you from soup to nuts, which is basically looking at your overall business structure. We'll help you round out your management team. If we need to put a few of our people on your team just to make it look better, we'll be very happy to do that. We do charge for what we do, but there have been instances where we balance the charges with either some shares in your company, or we lower the cost of the service that we offer because you haven't got much money, and we'll pick it up on the back end in some way in a success way. We've been around for over 32 years, and I think that especially working with Nick and using Nick's platform as a way to get to the investors is a wonderful way and very effective way of getting things done. We have one client who just did, Nick just did an interview with her. She's appeared on StartupBrite. We've worked with her to redo her deck for many months, thinking out all kinds of things, including the financials. And we are working with her now to get investment. And we're using StartupBrite as our main vehicle for communicating the investment. So I thank Nick a lot for putting this together, and Anna sitting out in Toronto for managing what we're doing right now. And it's a great event, and I'm glad to welcome newcomers who come, and always enjoy these 2 hours. So thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Jack. Alberto, do you want to say a few things again, or go ahead?
I'll just reiterate a lot of what Dr. Jack has been saying. I mean, it's such a great event, and also StartupBrite is such a great platform. And personally, I'm a systems engineer, I'm a data scientist, and then turned into a lawyer. And therefore, I'm a little biased toward investing in technology companies. But it's, just love being here and seeing the great startups and the questions that the other investors bring, I mean, are so important to getting a good idea of what the startups businesses are. So anyways, good luck to everybody.
Thank you very much, Alberto.
And I'd like to add one thing also, as Alberto didn't say this, but all of us on the panel, many of us know each other and have gotten to know each other through StartupBrite. And so there's been a lot of collaboration with the members of the panel. I'm working on one project right now with one of our panelists tonight, and we're a good group, and constantly changing and adding new people to the panel. I think that this is one of the best events you will find of its kind.
Thank you very much again, Jack. I'm going to ask David Culver to say a few words. Hey, David.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for you and your team, as always, putting this on. You guys do such a great job. Hey, everybody. I'm Dave Culver. I am venture advisor for Propellant Ventures, a VC fund based out of Chicago. And we've made 11 investments into companies over the last year or so. And we primarily invest in seed and pre-seed companies, mostly seed. And we just happen to have invested highly into diverse background founders and women-led or co-led companies. Not on purpose, kind of, but we have a diverse background investor pool, either our LPs and or our fellow investors who we know, who have brought us some of the deals. That's why that's probably happened. We're actually based in the Midwest, and we primarily invest in the Midwest, although we're expanding to the Southeast. Although we can invest anywhere. We don't target Silicon Valley type of companies if they're overvalued, right? No offense to Silicon Valley. They've got plenty of investors there. The other thing, though, that we do is we also, one of the founders of VentureShot, which has been around since 2011, and the Funding Feeding Frenzy, which is our version of Shark Tank meets The Profit. if you know those shows. And that's generally a real live in-person event, although we did a couple over COVID online virtually, but we like to have them in person. And a bunch of companies have gotten funded with millions of dollars over the years. We've had about 50 major events and some themes also like food, fun, and fashion, but mostly general investing. And then Venture Shot as a strategic growth program helps companies grow their revenues, get funded, and scale their businesses. And we've had quite a bit of success funding companies and growing them in their revenues with direct introductions to customers. Quick example, one of our companies got funded with $750,000. I should say technically it's a signed term sheet. And I don't think that the money has hit the bank yet, but it should, from one of our investor network that put that money towards them. Then also we helped that same company get a potential customer, which will probably close, but about $800,000 per year is what that customer value is to that company. That company is only it did $1 million in revenue plus last year, so a significant customer bump. And then we also helped a different company get some smaller amount of funding. Anyway, all that's happened within the last few months. So we also have a series of clubs around the country, not physical clubs, but membership clubs in the Atlanta area where I am currently, in Chicago where I used to live, and in Delray Beach, Florida, where I will be next week, because it's much nice and warmer there than it is in either Atlanta or Chicago for sure. I feel for those people who are in the cold weather climates right now. So we'll have a group of investors, a few companies, and some strategic partners that will be down there in Delray Beach for the Delray Beach Business Owner and Investor Adventure Club. So thanks very much, guys. We appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing what the companies have to say.
Thank you, David. We have also here Charles Payne. Charles, do you have good connection, and can you introduce yourself?
Absolutely,
there you
Nick. Here I am. Yeah, sorry about that. I got a few different things from some of the podcasts we're recording earlier today. So my name is Charles Payne. So I'm part of Neptune Media. We're actually owned by an investment group. And our principal strategy is we tend to invest in technology, but we don't limit ourselves to just technology. We tend to invest in whatever is able to make money, and obviously legal in whatever country we're operating in at that time. As Jack was saying earlier, we do work with each other. So I do admit that our panel is growing, which is actually pretty exciting. And I'm happy to see that.
Charles and I are working together right now, actually, on something.
We are.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, you didn't throw that out there originally, so I figured I'd leave it. But yeah, absolutely. So Jack and I are actually collaborating on some other projects. I think they're actually pretty nice, and hopefully we can bring them to the team, as we progress things forward. But a little bit about me is I've been in IT for a really long time. I've been in finance actually a little bit longer. So I'm happy to be here. I actually like the group, and I love what Nick is doing, and I'm here to support Nick and the panel, the rest of the panel members.
Thank you very much, Charles, and thank you for the good words. And Christopher Hill. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Nick, Anna, and the other fellow investors. Thank you. It's great to be back here around the table. My name is Christopher Hill. I am also here in support of fellow entrepreneurs. I have made a significant investment in one of the firms that was introduced by StartupBrite, a company called CindyXR, which is in the telehealth space. I'm interested in making additional investments on my home office account. My background is in being in your shoes, looking for funding, and then growing companies, and then exiting. I've been lucky enough to exit rather significant exits in the last few years, including sale of my company Uptime Institute to Dominus Capital, and 2 years before that, in 2019. My company, 451 Research, a technology research firm, we sold to Standard & Poor's Global, and going back a number of years before that, a number of other exits. And my desire, just as there were people who were helpful to me growing up and going through my journey, is to help you in yours.
Thank you very much, Chris. And yeah, you're not only you didn't only invest, you were elected, right? You were selected to be the CEO of that company.
Yeah, I decided this is not something I do lightly, but the mission of CineXR is in providing online support groups for people that are suffering various ailments out there and helping the doctor-patient relationship. And I was so enamored by the dedication of the team as well as the technology using telehealth as well as virtual reality that I decided to go in and become chairman of the board and chief executive officer. And very excited about the mission of the company and looking forward to hearing the mission of the companies that will be presented tonight.
All right. Thank you very much. We have 4 companies that will be presenting tonight. We have Ihor Bauman presenting Worky, Corey Willix presenting Glam, sorry. John Wen will present Easy Dars, and Amit Sigdar will present Hush. And this is the order of your presentation, guys. Again, I want to remind you of 2 things. First is keep an eye on this timer here. And when it gets to 0, I will have no choice but to interrupt you and ask you to wrap up. After these 5 minutes, you're going to have another 5 minutes for Q&A with the investors. I'm a little bit more flexible there because I don't want to interrupt an investor. So, but make sure you kind of keep into the 5 minutes. And the other thing that I want to remind you is when you make your pitch, make sure you get to the slide where you explain to our investors how much money you're looking for or what kind of investment you're looking for and what the deal is, right? That's why we're here. Okay, I will share your pitch deck on the screen and advance the slides. You just need to say next, and I will move to the next slide. We will start with Ihor. All right.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
yeah.
Nick. Good
Hello.
to be here again. Yeah, sure, you can start.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's my second time in 1 year here, so pleasure to be invited again. My name is Hio. I'm co-founder and CEO at Worky. And what we do, we're helping freelancers to build, grow, and promote their business online. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the thing is that today only 10% of freelancers can grow their business outside the marketplace. So usually people just stuck on marketplace and they have no idea what to do next. And our mission is building and promoting individual freelancing businesses. Next slide. So overall, the journey starts from building personal website, and it is still expensive and time-consuming. Next slide. That is why Worky generates all the template data and your personal branding with AI in less than 1 minute. Next slide. The overall hustle continues with running your business, running your clients and payments, and this is hustle nobody likes. Next slide. That's why Worky under the hood, we have the full infrastructure with payments and AI-powered CRM that helps you to run your business effectively and automatically. Next slide. At the end of the day, the major problem for any freelancer is how to find clients. Because promotion is expensive and you need to understand how it works. So you need also to be expert in this area. Next slide. That is why Worky is building your target audience, your banners, and we helping you to launch ads in Facebook and Instagram. So you are getting clients directly to your website and you can just convert them into clients. Next slide. Yeah, so our go-to-market strategy, currently we are focusing on private educators, coaches, consultants, and marketing experts, those who have on private appointments and who have services and products to sell. This is part of our private education market, but overall we plan to expand to other audiences like software developers, creative audiences, and to be on top of the overall freelance market. Next slide. Our competition is among companies who manage businesses and who helping like businesses to launch. We're different by AI power technologies. We're doing this for already 4 years. So Worky builds your personal website with AI. We're helping you to promote your business, and we also build our AI assistants that are helping you to interact with your customers successfully. Next slide. And we also foresee the potential exit strategy to Shopify, who currently focused on e-commerce businesses, while we are focusing on digital services and products. And we also see potential synergy with these guys. Next slide. Our business model is grow with Worky. So we are starting from starter plan that is free when we charge 5% transaction fees, then we go to plus plan, and then we're going to Worky professional plan. And the great thing with Worky ads is that Worky ads always convert you new clients, because people always need new customers. People coming to Worky to launch ads, and we already launched companies to our users a couple of times, and this is just going to continue to grow. Next slide. Overall, we built revenue of 3 channels. So we have subscriptions as our core channel, then we have transactions, and then we have Worky ads, and we are making revenue on every step. Next slide. We launched Worky ads just in December, and we see there is like big potential growing these services. We focus to reach 150K ARR later this second quarter, and then go to 300K ARR later this year. Next slide. Worky ads brings high retention of Worky users who always need new customers. This is why this engine with Worky ads always just grow and grow. Next slide. So we are a core team who built products before, and we also powered by experienced advisory board, and we proudly support Ukrainians because we are a Ukrainian team. Next slide. Our roadmap right now is to raise. We are looking to raise 3 mil seed. We're launching mobile application right now. We are building our ads that will be powered with AI as well. And we plan to in next year to raise Series A, hire executive team, and start growing globally to the next markets. Next slide. So we're looking for 3 mil under 15 mil cap. We raised some money before, and we have targets to reach 1 mil annual recurring revenue with this one. And next slide is final one. Thank you.
Thank you, Igor. And thank you for finishing on time. Any questions?
Hey, Igor.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hey.
Igor. How you said you'd raised money before? How much money had you raised before?
1.5.
1.5 million?
Yes.
Okay, great. And Nick, can you take it back to the revenue slide, please? And what? And I have a separate question, but no, the revenue slide. Perfect, thank you. Okay, great. And so are you basically saying that in Q1 2024, you're anticipating, because we're obviously only halfway through, that you're going to get roughly, I don't know, $20,000 of revenue or a little bit less in this quarter? Because you got a 75K.
Currently we are about 60 already. So last month was really good for us. So we did a lot of new subscriptions, and a lot of people are joining right now. And the thing is that Worky ads helping us to sell more, because people always struggle with how to find customers. We are helping them to find customers, and they want to have nicer websites. They want to serve more products, more services, and this is what our subscription does. So that's why we have.
Real quick, did you say 16 is what you got? 16 in
60 ARR.
60 ARR, but ARR means you're multiplying it across the annual revenue, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
15K so far this year is what you're saying in actual revenue. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Perfect.
Right. So these are you done? I'm sorry, David.
Yep.
Okay. So as someone whose family originated in the Ukraine, I'm very interested in seeing the success of Ukrainian companies, Ihor. And
Thank you. Appreciate it.
my great-grandparents came from near Kiev and Khmelnytsk. And I don't speak Ukrainian, but I've got a long history of working with Ukrainian businesses. So
Thank you, Jack. I deeply appreciate it.
I have a question for you because I've actually, even though I'm a psychologist, a cognitive psychologist, my company's been around 32 years, and we spent a lot of our time working with. I came out of the advertising business and spent a lot of time in public relations as head of strategy for a global PR firm called Hill and Knowlton, which is now called H&K. And I'm curious, now you've raised some money already, a nice chunk of change. Would you be open to or interested in an investment from a major agency, like an ad agency or ad agency group?
Absolutely. I would love to learn about that. We did some great progress with work ads, and like it might sound unbelievable, but with $20 budget, we brought to our customers about 21 new clients. So we know how to work with small budget, and we really focused on the success for our customers. That's why we're doing a lot of hands-on work here. But yeah, we definitely have plan also to build a couple of projects with B2B companies, because we also talking to private schools and micro schools in the US. So I would love to meet with you and learn a bit more.
All right, great. So if we don't talk in the chat room, let's make sure that I get a copy of your deck. Nick, give me a copy as well, but do email it to me because I'll open a file for you. That way I can keep all of our correspondence and everything in one place. But I have a few ideas. I used to work for WPP Group. I don't know if you know who they are. J. Walter Thompson. They owned Hill and Knowlton when I worked there. Ogilvy and Mather, some of the very big advertising agencies. They're a huge company. They were owned by a guy named Marty Sorrell, who no longer is the chairman. And there are a number of agency groups that might be interesting here, but I'm thinking that given your business model, the ones that are working with smaller companies and smaller budgets would be the ones that I would approach. Certainly to get involved, and it would be helpful to you because many of these companies have offices globally. So you're dealing with a global marketplace. And they will often, I was head of strategy on the West Coast, but that opened the door to tons of companies in Asia, for example. And we helped launch the Nintendo Entertainment System way back in 1989. To give you an example. So I think that it would be to your advantage to try something like that, and we can discuss it.
Yeah, would love to. Thank you, Jack. I just sent you a message on LinkedIn as well. I would love to take it from there. Thank you.
Email me as
well. Just want to. Oh.
Okay.
So just wanted to. I know it's the next one, but keep in mind, I wanted to for when you go off to the other. Use of funds and how do you promote the business itself? So we'll take that up when in the
breakout rooms. Yeah.
In the breakout room.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I would love to. Thank you.
All right. Our next presenter is Corey Willix, and Corey will present Hologram. You're muted, Corey.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. My name is Corey Willix. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at Hologram. The word hologram is a combination of the word hologram as a 3D image and the word glamour for fashion. So we're the world's first personalized 3D avatar and a highly tailored fashion e-commerce marketplace. We have 3 core pillars. We allow our consumers to consume apparel in an e-commerce function. We allow them to socialize the apparel they produce, And then we also allow our consumers to monetize the apparel fits they create. Next slide, please. So today, one of the biggest challenges for brands and e-commerce platforms is that consumers are returning a whopping 70% of the apparel purchased when brands and platforms are using virtual fashion try-on technology. Why? Number one, the fit is poor, and it's not a bespoke custom style to the user. Next slide. So today, brands have limited technology available to them. You can see 2D avatars, they're flat and static images, 3D are cartoon looking, or the virtual try-on clothing, it's not realistic. It's hard for the consumer to conceptualize. As a result, they return the apparel they bought. Next slide. So Hologram, we've invented a brand new platform and technology. It's a hyper-realistic 3D image. As you can see on the left, she looks like a human being. And the clothes are hyper-realistic. As you can see, it looks like she really is wearing those clothes. Before making that purchase, the consumer is able to virtually try them on and socialize that image they create. Next slide. So we are unveiling two technological innovations that we are trademarking. The first is a 3D UJatar technology. It's your personal 3D digital avatar. And the second technology we're inventing, it's 3D FFF technology, fit, fabric, and form for virtual try-on. I'll explain those in a moment. Next slide. So the first, your digital avatar technology. The consumer takes their smartphone, they do a body scan and uploads it to our engine. We create a 3D hologram that is highly realistic. Many times you can't tell if the person on the right is a real picture of a human being that's lifelike and 3D image that can turn, as well as their clothes look like they are true clothes that person has worn. So that's the 3D image part. Next slide. Now we have virtual try-on technology. We have also taken other people's technology and have advanced it, much like Apple took IBM's mainframe technology and brought it into a much better form factor. So the lady on the right, bottom right, she looks like a human, and the clothes look like they're really being worn by her. Next slide. So really, we are a tech company that drives the three-stage consumer journey in a marketplace. So on the left, in orange, we have a 3D avatar and a virtual try-on technology. That's a hologram. Now it drives consumers to buy apparel in an e-commerce fashion place, connecting to brands. Secondly, it allows them to socialize. They can share their apparel with their avatar on Instagram, Facebook, in a Zoom fashion setting, in the professional workplace. And then we're allowing them to monetize. They can license apparel fit combinations they create, and they can literally make money from anyone buying that same fit combination. Next slide. So this is another visualization of consume, socialize, and monetize, the three areas where they can consume, they can socialize, and they can make money on any fit combinations that they create. We also have a predictive engine in there. So as they are trying on clothes, we can predict, much like YouTube can predict the songs that I would like to play, we can predict the clothes they would like to try on. Next slide. So this is our competitor matrix. We have on the bottom in pink, the hologram. Basically, we have created something. There's dozens of competitors, none of which do all of the platform functionality that we have. We have a 3D body scan. We have a 3D realistic clothing try-on technology. We have a predictive engine, an e-commerce platform, a socialization and expression platform. And then we have the ability to create a digital footprint or license/NFT, and then a prosumer, professional consumer. Next slide. All right, 2 more slides left. So this is our leadership team. James, he's the co-founder and CEO. He's the think tank genius. Rama, also co-founder and CTO. He's the former head of artificial intelligence at Samsung for about 5 years, most recently. We have Wilfred as the fashion mogul, and then myself as the chief revenue officer. Last slide. One more, please. Yeah, so we're creating the fashion marketplace. We are seeking safe investments for $1.5 million and with a 20% discount on the next round price. And lastly, we have we launched our company in 2023 at the end of it, and we're going live with our product at the end of February, February 29th on the Apple Store, where we will be creating product market fit. So we are brand new to the market and about to go live. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Corey. Questions for Corey from our investors?
We also have our co-founders, Rama and James, in the call as well.
Corey, thank you. Great presentation. You mentioned when you were talking about what you've built and what you've invented, you mentioned that you trademarked instead of patented the technology. Is there a reason behind that? Not patent?
No, we're still in that process. We will be doing a function of trademarking the name, but then patenting the technology. So we're doing both.
Okay. And but you have you filed a non-provisional yet, or do you know?
No, we have not. We are in the process of doing that. We really needed to take the technology and formulate exactly what it was, which has been finalized recently. So we didn't want to create that until we really knew exactly how to define it, what the unique differentiators were, et cetera. So we're now ready to bring that to the non-provisional.
Cool.
I think that was a very good question, Alberto. And the sooner you get through this patent phase, the better, because as an investor, I like to know that this invention is protected.
Yeah.
And right now, you've combined a bunch of interesting technologies, and I'd be sort of wary of spreading the word too much, in a sense, before you've patented it, or at least got your provisional patent in place. Just because, someone could take a look at this and say, gee, we could do the same thing. And that would be a problem. I love what you're doing in terms of using the technology. I have worked in this area before in fashion, actually shoes, and working with 3D modeling of it was a shoe company called The Left Foot, actually a British company. We had stores in California and in New York, actually, and things didn't work out the way they were supposed to. And one of the problems that we have is what you outlined before as being the weaknesses of just 3D imaging and so forth. But having an avatar that basically represents the individual and is unique to the individual and allows them to see all these different clothes on them as opposed to what's available today, I think is first of all, the technology is mature enough now that I think you can do this safely. And I think the idea of being able to suggest other fashion and so forth is very important. So I do like what you're doing. A buddy of mine who no longer is involved, but is the guy who actually saved Tommy Hilfiger. I noticed you had some of their stuff there. He was the CEO, the chairman of Tommy Hilfiger at one point. And I come out of a family who were fashion people. So I really appreciate what you've got. And I think that there's a role here for it. And we certainly know a lot of corporate people who might be interested in working with you on this or investing into your product. I spent 6 years in Paris, so if I've been around fashion for a long time, everything from Louis Vuitton to you name it. And I like what you've got. I just was looking at your numbers. Could you go back to your number slide?
Which slide would be the number slide?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I
I
didn't.
don't think we had any number projections.
Okay, all right. That's definitely an issue.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. We're out of time. So and I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything because we have a small group tonight. So I'll either catch you in the breakout room or hook up with me on I put my email, you've got my email there, send me your deck.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Corey, real quick. This is Dave Culver. I help build a fashion outdoor gear and apparel company, and so I'd be happy to chat with you about what you guys are doing. You definitely should put some numbers of some kind in there. And what would be more helpful as well is if you could put like a pie chart together for the use of funds rather than just list a few things that you got in there.
Sure.
But that would help us visualize it better. But I'm interested in finding out more. Thanks.
Excellent. Appreciate that.
Hi,
All right.
hi, Charles
Thank you.
Payne. Sorry. Sorry, last one, Nick. Sorry. I'm curious. Actually, Snapchat does all that, at least similarly. So I'm curious to know, have you looked at Snapchat? Do they have any patents, or have you done any research in terms of any of the competition that's out there? Like Jack and David, I'm also very interested, but I'm curious to know because even on Snapchat, I'm playing on my phone. I'm wearing a Pepsi jersey, and it looks realistic. So I'm curious to know if you've done any of those market comparisons or analysis.
James, you're welcome to take that. We absolutely have done a deep dive on the research, and Snapchat, I'd have to look back into what technology they're using. I do believe
Snapchat is live AR,
yes.
where like you're standing, let's say you see my screen or you see my rectangle on Zoom, right? I'm like on, and imagine if this jacket turns blue or something like that. But it's a lot more like you can see that it's clearly laid onto you, and it's not like I'm wearing it actually. And right now, if you look at most of the live AR, it's for clothes that you would never ever see anyone wear. Like if you walk like just down the streets or in university or anywhere downtown, you never see them wear the clothes that they see that's available for live AR try on. Because it's like creative clothes for fun. Like you have clothes with wings and like shiny bubbles all over your head. Like it's for entertainment purposes, not like utilitarian fashion purposes. And yeah,
It's a basic scan rather than acquiring the clear body measurements so that we can accurately overlay the available products from different brands.
Okay, guys, we need to move on.
Thank you.
Sorry, Charles, but
No problem. Thank you.
yeah, please, when we open the breakout rooms, use that for more questions. Thank you very much for understanding. All right, our next presenter is John Wen. John, good evening. You ready to pitch?
Hello, everyone. My name is John Wen, founder and CEO of AceDAS. Next. After experiencing the devastation of losing my grandma and father to strokes, I started my journey to reduce their premature deaths from strokes and heart attack. And since 2014, I tried to find the technology and then build the team from then. I built the company to 21. Next. In US, 160 million at risk for strokes and heart attack. There are simply not enough medical doctors to watching for patients at risk for the warning sign to stop the stroke and heart attack, which leaves a huge safety gap and resulting 700,000 people die and 460 billion in direct medical costs each year. Next. Our solution is built as an AI platform that with essential software and hardware at home that provide true telemedicine at home. Imagine a patient at home, they can push a button to access to medical doctor with necessary diagnosis tool at their home that can get the patient treated before the stroke and heart attack happening, and shortening the response time to less than 1 minute. That not only can save people's life, but also save insurance companies money from $20,000 per hospitalization to $800. Next. And here's an example of how it works. Oh, this one, I think it's a PDF file one that the
video.
Video won't play. Next, please. We have a very strong team with all the domain expertise. I also have a successful business leader who has 2 times IPO, and also Ted Kettery was a senior IBM executive. We also have emergency doctor, AI expert. Next. We can create a potential market at the $96 billion TAM and $50 billion SAM. We believe within next 5 to 10 years, we can have a SOM for $5 billion, which could revolutionize the way people access to care. Next, please. Our competitors are about 90 companies. Those are here, we listed about top 10. They mainly doing the monitoring of emergency events, and then a lot of people call 911 and waiting for ambulance to come. But now they have the patented technology to prevent the stroke and heart attack happening, and they don't have a true telemedicine software and hardware. The response time is 8 to 14 minutes. Ours is less than 1 minute. Next, please. Next. Yeah, our competitive advantage is patented technology, and also numerous algorithms I have come out for the last several years to get people treated earlier. We can provide better and fast, cheaper service. Next, please. The way we generate money, generate revenue, it's a service subscription, also insurance reimburse partially, and selling hardware. Our go-to-market strategy, mainly we offer free apps, and that you can do the viral marketing, and then upgrade to the membership. And also we partner with insurance company, healthcare provider, senior center, and also a manufacturer for diagnosis tool and emergency response device. Next. Currently, our pilot testing get very good feedback. We received 3 US patents and 2 pending, and we have manufacturers clearance from FDA. Next, please.
John, you should wrap up, please.
Okay. We're asking for $2 million on safe loads, 20% discount, 5% interest. I think my time is off. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions for
Hey, John.
Yes.
So John, first, thanks for presenting. Second, my entire family's in healthcare. And my dad actually teaches CPR to doctors and other emergency med techs and all that jazz. So I'm interested from their perspective first. And then second, please take this in a positive way this meant. If it were me, I would probably get someone else to do your presentation. For me, it was hard to understand what you're saying. No problem. I would be hard to understand for somebody, a Chinese or another language. But like, this is a very powerful potential presentation if it's done by somebody who's really good at it. And so I'd recommend, even though you might be the CEO, you want somebody to like deliver the on time, you won't run long, all that jazz, right? So not critical, just more of a, I want to see it work out well for you. So I'm happy to chat with you later, and my contact information's in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
John, I'd like to follow David here. I've been in touch with your COO, forgot his name.
Owen.
Owen, yes. And I
Owen
promised
Patton.
Owen I would send him a proposal. I agree with what David just said. In fact, your deck needs a lot of work.
Sure.
But the reason you didn't get a proposal from me yet is I've actually spent approximately a month, because I can't do it full time. I've spent a month contacting people in the medical business who I know, doctors mostly, executive director of a hospital chain, the head of UCLA Medical here in Los Angeles, where I'm located. And I've got a lot of information from them. And now I actually have you listed as what I'm going to do tomorrow was put a proposal together for you guys. So I want you to tell Owen that I didn't forget about you, but
Okay, thank you.
I've been doing my due diligence and checking very carefully to see whether your numbers would stand up, and what's the best way to, I mean, other than the deck, which I totally agree with David, it's got a lot of work to be done on it. David, Owen presented last time, and he did a pretty good job of it. So it's nice to meet you, John. And
Thank you.
I want you to, if I don't meet you in the breakout room, I want to ask you a question. Has anything changed here on your deck compared to the one that we had about a month ago or so?
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, several changes. Yeah, we added added a video that can let people understand more about our technology. But unfortunately, what's in PDF file at this time, it does not play.
Yeah, it should play normally. Would you do me a big favor and email me? You have my and Owen's got it also. So because I'm working on your stuff tomorrow.
Sure, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, and I really love what you're doing, and I don't want to take up more time, but I think this is marvelous. But from the due diligence I've done, I've learned a lot about where to launch and what's the best way to launch this. So I'm not just looking at it from the standpoint of raising money. I'm also looking at it from the standpoint of the health tech industry and where you fit into the picture. And I think I have a much better idea now, having talked to many of my medical friends and getting their opinion of what you've got. So if I could have the new deck with that video in it, that would be helpful, because tomorrow I'm going to send you something.
Thank you. Will do.
Okay, thanks, John.
All right, thanks.
All right, any other questions for John? We still have about a minute or so.
Real quick, John, how much of your team is in Atlanta? I think you're in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta as well.
Myself is in Atlanta. There's 3 people in Atlanta. Ted just moved to Florida. He's a retired IBM executive. And so
where in Florida?
I wasn't sure. He just decided to move, but he will be our senior advisor.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'll be in Florida next week. That's just why I was wondering if it was close to me or not. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our last presenter tonight is Amit Sigdar, and Amit will present Hush. Amit.
Hi, thank you, Nick, for having me again and giving me the opportunity to present to the panel. And panel, nice to see you guys again after the last meet when I presented, and we have made quite significant progress since then. So I'm very excited to share that. So Nick, can I start now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So I'm the founder of Hush. My name is Amit Sigdar. And as you can see, Hush is an anonymous social media platform where every user is anonymous to each other. and they don't have to provide any kind of PII, email, or phone number to us to use the platform. So before I go any further about explaining what we do and everything, let me show where we are right now, what kind of traction we have gained over since launch. In the next slide. So as you can see, in the last almost a year, less than a year that we have launched, we have gained 185,000 users, all without any paid marketing effort, organic growth, word of mouth, social media strategy, and all. Everything what we can do in a free marketing strategy. We are currently on iOS and App Store, and we are launching a web browser version soon based on the popular demand that we have received from our user. And as you can see, a lot is happening on the platform in terms of MAU, in terms of engagement time, the number of posts, messages that are being sent. So the platform has been heavily active. Even right now to this minute, there are like in the last 30 minutes, 1,200 users were online from all around the world. So this is the non-revenue traction. Let me show you the traction in terms of revenue in the next slide. So right now we have started generating enough revenue from the ads that we are profitable on an MRR basis. Our monthly revenue is more than twice our infrastructure spend, and there is a lot of scope for economies of scale as we grow and we re-architecture our setup based on the scaling. At the same time, we have completed the first phase implementation of our second revenue driver, which will be a mix of premium features driven by subscription as well as buying the packages. And as we keep scaling up, we will deploy more revenue drivers as presented here. Now, next slide, please. So now you saw like what kind of traction we have, revenue as well as non-revenue. Now, why do we have this kind of traction? What problem we are trying to solve? So we are trying to solve the problem of first authenticity. People are afraid of expressing themselves because they are afraid of getting judged, ridiculed, canceled in today's world. So they don't say what is on their mind. They don't have debates or discussion which will progress or move things. At the same time, public social media platforms have given rise to influencer culture, which again has been troublesome in its own respect because of the problems that it caused, peer pressure, entitlement, risky pranks like eating Tide Pods and all that. So that's where the need for an anonymous social media platform was felt, and I worked on that. Next slide, please. So how do we do it? So when you download our app, we don't ask for any PII, as I mentioned, no email, no phone number, just download and start using our app. You do not have to even create a profile. Creating a profile is optional. And even if you decide to create, you have to just provide information which cannot be tied back to your real identity. And then you can start connecting with people. Next slide, please. And once you are set up, there are multiple ways to connect locally as well as globally, because we have a local feed where you can filter down from 5 mile to 150-mile radius. So you can make posts, you can make chat, you can have groups, you can replies. And recently we launched a feature which will bring it similar to those who like long form content, like on Reddit, stories feature that we have launched. Next slide, please. So what are we aiming for? So this slide is just to represent what has been achieved in the past and what we are trying to achieve based on new tools that are available and the markets like India, Indonesia, from where we are already starting to get traction. And we are specifically targeting those young and high population countries. Based on that, this is the projection that we hope that we can definitely achieve in the next 3 years. Next slide, please. And here a quick look at the team. I'm Amit Sikdar. I previously had a startup that I sold to my partners at a profit, and then I made my exit and moved to US to work here. And my partner Amit Mishra, we have both worked in media and entertainment for a while, which requires like low latency and high frequency services, which is again like the backbone of a social media service like us. Next slide, please. And this is our ask. We are trying to raise 750K at 10 million valuation cap for our seed round. And the goal is to reach 1 million monthly active user by the year end, which will give us nearly 720K in terms of ARR. And the funds will be utilized in this manner, primarily on marketing, because our key barrier right now is awareness. And once people are aware of our app, more often than not, they try our app, they install our app. So this has been helpful. So that's where we want to focus, followed by technology and hiring some key personnel in terms of developing brand partnerships or content licensing via AI. Next slide, please.
You need to wrap up.
Yeah, that's the last slide. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Questions, please.
Amit, it's Christopher Hill. Hope you're doing well. A quick question. You mentioned 150 countries. What specific region or specific country are you getting the most traction in today?
60 to 65% of our traffic is from US, UK, and Canada.
Okay, thank you.
I'm very interested in what you're doing, and I will tell you that I mean there are a few things about your deck I think I would change around, but I actually started working with Nintendo at the very, very beginning when we launched the Nintendo Entertainment System. There was no internet yet, and our company built the first anonymous chat room using dial-in modems, and it was all about discussion of the effect of video games on children. And it was a specialized platform because everyone who participated was invited, and in some cases we actually had to send them equipment in order to be able to connect because we were using 800 toll-free phone lines at the time. And it was a very interesting experience. It was a very first project that we did, project number 0001. And I really do like what you're doing. I appreciate the way you're going about it. It doesn't surprise me as a market researcher that your markets are primarily in the US and Canada and the UK, because in these particular markets, anonymity is something that is valued by the marketplace because of all the problems online. In other countries, people may be less aware of it, but certainly in the UK, in Canada, and in the US, they're very aware of it. And my head is bursting with ideas for things you could do with this platform that you haven't talked about. So would love to talk to you. Don't know if we'd do it in the chat room or whatever, but do email me your deck. I mean, I've got 32 years of doing this kind of stuff, and I think what you've got is solving a very, very important problem with regard to social media.
Thank you, Dr. Tobin. I will send it to you.
Thank you.
All right. Other questions for Amit?
I just downloaded the app as you were speaking. I think it's extremely interesting, and I wonder what other different ways you can monetize it apart from the ads. You mentioned a couple of them, brand partnerships and so on. But very lightly, could you elaborate a little more on what other avenues you're considering to monetize?
Yeah, sure. Nick, could you please take us to that slide? So apart from like ad-based revenue, which we are already generating, our second primary driver is around creating a premium business model. So for that, we have introduced a social currency called Quids in-app, where you earn Quids by interacting within the app. Now, right now, using Quids, you can access certain special services like sending pictures within the messages. And in future, we have a couple more services lined up, which are pretty popular on regular chat platforms that will be available by use of Quids. So either you can earn Quids through social engagement, which will help drive the ad-based revenue, or you can purchase the packages of those Quids, or you can get a subscription for an ad-free version along with a certain number of Quids on a monthly basis. So that will be the next freemium-based revenue driver. After that, on a scale, and it has been done previously also, we are launching a poll feature, which can be used for brand partnership in terms of running polls, as well as pinned post for promoting your movie, your product, or something like that. Then there is the content licensing part for BuzzFeed, Daily Mail, and those kind of internet publication where you can package those 37 things to do this or 21 things to do this kind of ideas, and you can sell that content.
And with these premiums or whatever, that doesn't the anonymity get lost, or do you have a methodology to get these and still remain anonymous?
No, we have a way to still remain anonymous.
Gotcha.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for all your presentations, guys, and for the questions from our investors. If you don't have any other questions, we can move on to the next segment, which is opening the breakout rooms. Okay. So I open the breakout rooms, and the way this is going to work is I'm going to assign each of our founders to a breakout room, and then investors can decide which room they want to join, and I'm going to move them to the specific room. And I'll start with Ihor. So Ihor, you can go to your room. You will see an invite on your screen. Just accept it.
Yeah, I see. Thanks. Okay, going. Thank you.
Okay. Then we have Corey. Corey, who else should join you?
It would be
Rama. Okay. And then we have John Wen. John, you will see the invite. Just click on that, accept it. And then we have Amit Siddhar. Amit, your room is open. All right. So going back to our investors. Dr. Jack Torvin, which room do you want to join?
Nick, I'd like to talk to Amit.
Okay, move to Amit.
Thank you.
Alberto?
Nick, how much time are we going to have, do you think? Because
We have maybe even half an hour today.
okay, good, good. So then I might make it to more than one breakout room. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can come in and out. I forgot to mention.
Cool. Thank you.
Alberto? You're muted.
Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, I'll go see Worky.
Worky. Okay. Done. David Culver. Did we lose David? Okay, Charles. Charles, which company are you interested in?
Can I transfer with Jack to Amit, please?
All right, done.
Thank you.
And for Hill. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'll go to the medical device.
It was all on social media. Here's Charles.
Hi, Charles.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I talked to Nigel. I don't know if you
I did.
All right. Charles, do you want to join another room?
I do. I was going to copy Jack again.
You're
Jack,
muted.
you're
I cannot
muted.
hear.
You can't talk, guys. You're
Okay,
muted.
I'm not muted now.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
not.
Jack, I can hear you. You wanna-
Charles and I wanted to sort of tag team here and go to another room. So, which one would you, what's left? I was thinking, I know e-Cedars. I was thinking either hologram or Worky.
Yep. Both of them seem interesting. I think hologram, it depends on if there's a license issue with that, augmentation. If there's not, then it's going to be something that we can revolutionize with. If it is though, then that's going to be problematic. So that's where I don't
Right.
know.
Well, why don't we go to hologram and we'll try and get answers to those questions.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Alberto is there, right? Nick?
Many people are there.
Oh, it must be very
many
popular.
people are there. So maybe we should go to maybe we should go to Worky.
Yeah, work is nobody.
Worky
Okay.
has nobody? Charles? What do you think?
Yeah, sounds great.
Actually, Alberto came back.
Yeah, so we can.
Oh, Alberto came back? Oh yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
Alberto, are there a lot of people in the room or are they are you
Well, where I was in the hologram. So now I'd like to, if we still have time, I'd like to go see Hush.
Yeah, okay.
So you go to Hush, they're empty. How many people are in the hologram room?
No, nobody.
Okay, so
Right now,
let's go to hologram.
Well, there's 3 founders in there, but yeah.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go to hologram.
That
Let's
sounds
go
great.
to hologram instead of Worky.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, heading over now.
Yeah.
I think Jack. So, hello,
Charles.
guys.
Hey, folks, how you guys doing? And then Jack's
Excellent.
back
How are you
muted.
doing?
Yeah, they mute us every time we change rooms, Jack. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's Zoom.
I just realized that. So anyway, we're really Charles and I are very interested in what you guys are doing. Charles had a few questions, so I'm going to let him start this time. I'm usually the one who can't shut up, so I'll give it to Charles.
Oh,
Excellent.
no worries, Jack. I'm trying to find out how you guys are taking or addressing your issue. Like I've used Snapchat. It's got its own little programs that actually build out and let you actually do augmentation virtually, or I mean in a space, and they send you cameras and stuff like that. I've used some of their development products.
Recording in progress.
So I'm just kind of curious to know how you guys are, or if you guys actually evaluated that, or if there's a plan or what might be going.
Yeah, so the first thing is just understanding the difference in some of the technology, because for us, the technology is driving the marketplace and everything else. And so Snapchat, once again, you don't have the ability to create, they're not creating an
could, I was just telling Amit, not Amit, Rama and James, you have my email address. Send me the deck, and Charles as well.
Yes, we will.
All right.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay.
So all the investors, you know that I'm gonna send in a couple of minutes a package with all pitch decks from tonight. So
Yeah.
expect an email with the link to download the pitch decks. But I know that Dr. Jack Torbing has specific.
I have my own technique here. I like to have your decks so that I can open a file, and every conversation we have, I keep in that file, and that
Right.
way I've got everything. Like John's company, I've got all the conversations that we have in a file called eCedars. So that way I can keep things organized.
All right. I like organized people.
That's why I like you.
There you go.
Dr. Jack
And Anna, I like you too.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
All right,
Time for
guys.
for some dinner and some rest.
I'm coming soon, by the way. I'll let you know when.
You can't.
Why?
Today is I was on the road for 3 hours. Good luck.
Oh no, I'm not coming now. I'm not coming till March probably. But
Perhaps we have better chances not to sleep.
well, I'll stop in Montreal first. That's where my first stop is, and I'll probably drive up from Montreal
Yeah,
unless
it's a nice drive. Yeah.
unless the weather's bad. So
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for joining us, and see you on the 29th. You have a good
okay,
evening.
great, Nick.
Bye, thank you.
Great job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Have a
Nick.
good evening. Thank
Good
you.
group.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Good
Bye.
night.
Oh, bye-bye.
Charles, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay,
as we
thanks.
talk.
All right, thanks, Nick.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye.